Ariel show. I am not set up where I usually am, but that is okay. It is tour world mode. I'm not going to front and come up with another reason. I am exhausted, you guys, but this is the real life. This is what the Ariel show is all about, authenticity. So I wanted to talk about introvertism because someone, I think it was Meg, actually asked me during the Twitter Q&A last week about introvertism and touring. So I'm thinking about that a little bit because I've actually managed to kind of hack it a little bit in the best way and be better now than I ever have been with it. But little background, so for those of you who aren't super familiar, you're either an introvert or an extrovert, supposedly. Some dude just made these terms up. It's not like a real thing that you're either born one way or the other, but it's really where you get your energy from. So if you're extroverted, you get your energy from being around people, talking with people, and that lights you up, okay? So if you're the kind of person wants to go out, go to a party, be around a bunch of people, maybe go to a show, and then by the end of that night you're just oh, all lit up in jazz, that's probably what you are. Or if you're an introvert, you're gonna be the one that's hanging out by yourself, listening to music, or I don't know, being on the computer or reading or whatever, and after a few hours of that, you're yeah, I'm good. You feel lit up that way. And most people are both. Most people are combinations of both, I would think. But I'm really on the introverted side, and so much so that it's been a nuisance, an interruption in my life in the past, where it's crap, I can't be with all these people. I just need to get away. And I took the Myers-Briggs test when I was 13, so I was pretty young, and I was INTJ, and I haven't retaken it since, so I guess that I've changed. But anyway, my dad was an INTJ too, and I didn't know that, so I thought that was adorable. Oh my gosh, we're related. So anyway, my dad's a super introvert, way more than me, to the point where he can't even hang out with a small group of people for too long. He will just shut down. But I'm very similar in that when I'm with people for too long, I also shut down. And literally, guys, I would be in high school, hanging out with a group of friends, and then I would stop talking and I would just sit there and zone out. And someone would be dude, what's wrong with her? And then my BFF would have to be oh, this is just what she does. She's fine. Give her a couple hours, she'll get over it, she'll come back. And that's so how it is for me. And tour is being with people all the time. So I have genuinely so struggled being on tour with my bandmates, with my crew, and having them never shut up. And there have been so many times in the van, I just want to be oh my God, you guys, shut up. Stop talking. Nobody cares. I don't say that, but I think it. And so I just put my headphones in. And then that aside, it's I go to a show and I'm obviously on stage. That's obviously a very energy, needing thing. You need to be so present to put on a good show, and it takes so much energy. And then after that, we do the meet and greet, and that's being with people even more. And so that used to be really hard for me. I would need a lot of time to recover after a tour, weeks and weeks, if not longer, just to feel like myself again. And I've been touring now long enough that I realized a couple years ago I had to work on this, because I was crap, if I'm going to be touring my whole life, I should probably figure this out. I should hack into this. There's a hole in my shirt. What the heck? At least it's perfectly centered. Anyway, so I started working on this, and what I started doing was noticing when I was feeling the most drained and saying, okay, how can I protect myself here and hold on to my energy? And then also noticing the thoughts that I was thinking about myself and my situation when I was finding myself being drained. And I realized that I had taken me finding out that I'm an introvert at a young age, I'd taken that very personally and turned it into an identity, okay? To the point where it wasn't serving me anymore, because somebody would be talking and I would think, I'm an introvert. This is going to drain me. I would never say that because it sounds so pious or whatever, but I would make it worse by knowing that it was draining me, when really maybe it wasn't that draining, but I was just kind of playing into it, you know? And so being aware of that has really helped me, because now instead of being in the green room and everyone's talking and instead of being oh my God, I wish they would just stop so I can get freaking charged for the show because I'm an introvert, instead of that, I could be cool, I'm glad my crew's getting along and having fun and chatting. This is great. That's a win. It's just a small little dumb, mental reframe, but just not kind of setting the trap for myself has been really helpful. Also, things protecting yourself, so being aware, if you're in a confined space and people are going to be interacting as they should, because we're humans, we get to talk to each other, it's fair game to talk, then yeah, have your headphones ready, get lost in your book or whatever it is, or feel free to let people know what your deal is. Okay, so for me, I've had troubles in the past where people don't know what my deal is, and they think, what's her deal? And they think I'm being aloof or, distant and not being friendly, when really it has nothing to do with it. I just have to kind of protect my energy source a little bit because I have to show up in other places. So for me, I always have made the choice that, okay, if there's any place I'm going to spend my energy, it's going to be in the live show setting or in the meet and greet when I'm meeting the fans, because that's more important than my crew and me having this great, 3-hour-long conversation or whatever. So I've just learned my priorities, and I've learned that my priority is to take care of myself first, even more than I care what other people think, but at the same time explaining who I am to them if that's what it takes. Just say, hey, it's nothing personal, this is just kind of what I do, I recharge, without making it this super big identity thing where it's like, I can't talk to anyone because I'm a freaking elitist introvert. And so just kind of having all this on my radar in the last couple of years has really helped me. And so this video, I guess, is for the other introverts that like, hey, if this is hard for you, if being around people is more draining than you wish it were, can you play around with some things here? Like I used to always picture myself as a battery and I would just be draining out, all my energy would be falling out. That is not an empowering mental picture. That's the kind of mental picture that will drain me all on its own. Instead, I can be like, I'm not a freaking battery, I'm a person. Like, I got this. I can sit in a room with other voices and not feel like my life is draining out of me. And then if you're an extrovert and you're around other people who you suspect might be introverts, if they are, inconsistent with their energy levels or even not super talkative, maybe, question your assumptions about them. So rather than assuming that they're just shy or too cool to talk to or whatever, maybe that's just the way that they are and it actually isn't personal. It has nothing to do with you. Either way, I just think none of us can be like too set in our ways where we don't grow, where we don't evolve. That's the biggest takeaway from this is if you were born something, if you were labeled something, if a test told you something or if a doctor diagnosed you with something and you're not happy with it, don't settle for it. Play around with it, hack into it, see how you can make this a beneficial thing in your life instead of an awful thing in your life, and see if you can improve. Like I want to be more social than I am. We talked about that just a couple weeks ago. I want to continue to be able to be around people and not have my energy drained. Like, duh, that would be amazing, right? And so this is something that I'm continually working on, both the internal kind of concepts, visual pictures, all that stuff that I've got going on, and then also the way that I interact with others. So hope this gives you guys some ideas to play around with. You can probably find that Myers-Briggs test online, probably for free somewhere. Download some crappy version, I don't know. If you're interested, or else I'm sure there are a million other tests that will just tell you if you are an introvert or an extrovert. So that's that. Thanks for watching. I gotta pack, you guys. I really gotta pack. I got so much stuff. I don't even know. I seriously was like in the car talking to Siri, having her make all these mental notes of all these little things, verbal notes I should say, that I need to get packed. Okay, I love you. Tour flyer is coming up after this, so check it to see if we're coming to your city. We're coming almost everywhere in the United States. We're still getting dates in, guys. It is crazy, but I'm so excited. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, see you next week. Love you.